Hello, this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Today I've got a 2 for the price of 1 project for you. I'm going to bring these up to the camera. Can you see the white on white snowflakes there? I made this card. I wanted to do a clean and simple card, as I always do. But when I'd made it, although I love this card, I did think that for maybe some people it's a bit too clean and simple. So I made this one. I just added some silver snowflakes around the border. And actually I quite like this one. I'm now toying with which one I like the best. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to make them if you like these cards. I love white on white cards with a little bit of silver, especially at Christmas. So I'm just going to show you how I made them. So I'm going to start with my usual card blank. I'm going to start with a sheet of A4. Thick whisper white. I'm going to use my lovely new trimmer. Gorgeous. If you haven't bought one yet, what are you waiting for? It is gorgeous. And I'm going to cut what I want to be is half this sheet, so it's going to be at 14.85 centimeters is where I'm cutting, and in inches that is about 5 3/4. Difficult to do very exact when you're doing just transferring to inches. Right, those are more or less the same size, and then I'm going to score both of them. I'm going to remember to take my blade up to the top while I'm scoring, and I'm going to score at, I have to say I wasn't a real lover of our last trimmer, although I did use it. This one I love. It is so good, and I'm using it not only my other one I only used for Stampin' Up projects, and I do a lot of other crafting. This one I'm using all the time for everything. It gives such a lovely straight cut. My other, oh, I've scored that one in the wrong place. Oh, too busy talking. What did I do there? What did I do? 10.5 it should be. That should be right. Let's do that again. Oh, I'm going to have an extra score line on that one. Never mind, that will be at the back, so it won't matter. I must have scored it a 9.5. Must have misread my trimmer. Anyway, yes, what I was saying was I absolutely love this trimmer. I didn't use the other one, but this one I'm using all the time, and I've used it such a lot, and this blade is still really cutting really cleanly. So I think we have got a winner there with our trimmer. I don't really like trimmers that need blades because I usually have a guillotine one, but actually this is cutting so lovely and straight. I used to have a bit of problem doing layering with my guillotine because it was always a bit wonky. This one, no trouble. Anyway, there are card blanks. We've got 2 card blanks. We then need 2 panels, which we're cutting out with the stitched rectangles, and 4 lots of snowflakes to go on the panels. I'm only going to do 1 today. I'm just going to show you. So, but if you were doing both cards, you'd need 2. So I'm going to bring in my very old trusty Sizzix Big Shot, and I'm going to use a piece of card, a bit of scrap card, to cut out one. This die is from here, from the set, so you can see this is the set with the most rectangles in it, and it's the fourth biggest and the 5th smallest. So 1 2 3 4 5 from the smallest, 1 2 3 4 from the biggest, and I'm just going to cut out 2 of those. Actually, I'm only going to cut out 1 because I'm going to show you the other one, and I'll finish the other one off camera. Oh, I've now moved my grid sheet around. Sort that right, and then I need 2 lots of the snowflakes, and the snowflakes are from the Christmas layers. I love this die set. Very simple little die set, but I'm loving this cluster of snowflakes. I've used that a lot. I love this like mistletoe, and I haven't used these yet, but I will be using them very soon. I quite like those. So I'm going to take the snowflakes and 2 little scraps of card and cut out 2 lots. Oh, I might get 2 on one sheet actually. I might get 2 on here. This is why I don't like doing big shots. It tends to move my grid sheet around. I line my grid sheet up when I start. No, I'm going to put it through again because it's a very intricate cut, and I want to make sure it's cut properly. As some of you will know if you watch me often, sometimes I don't do any die cutting on camera. I do it all beforehand. Today I don't know, just depends on which way the mood takes me really. Right, this is just about going to fit on there, so I'm not going to waste any more card. I'm going to use that bit, put that through again. And the wonderful thing about this little cluster of snowflakes is you can cut them apart to use them as individual snowflakes, but you also have a cluster. So it's like 2 for 1 again, really good. There we go, take that off. That's all our die cutting done. And I've just remembered I haven't got out my Merry Christmas stamp, so I will have to do that. Let's just make sure my grid paper is still more or less lined up. That's okay. Right, so we need to push these out of our cardstock and get rid of all the bits. Can be a bit fiddly this, so on my die you can see I will just, I'm not going to do it all, but you just go through with your brush and that will get all those bits out. And then on here the bigger bits can come out with hands. You can do this with the brush if you want to. I usually just do it by hand, mainly because I've never got a foam mat handy to do it on. If you do it with the brush you really need a foam mat. So just get all those little bits out. They pop out really easily. They're not difficult to get out, especially if it's cut well, if you put it through a couple of times. There, that one's done. And then this one, for some reason this one doesn't seem to have cut quite so well. Don't know why that would be. I put it through twice again. I think the other one I put through 3 times, but it shouldn't make that much of a difference. And then I might just bring my pokey tool in, get these bits out. Yeah, if you were doing hundreds of these, I guess it would get a bit tedious getting all these little bits out. So I'm only doing 2. I can cope. How are you all getting on with your Christmas crafting? I think I'm just about done with cards. Just thinking, I just had an idea for an advent calendar the other day that I might do quickly and give it to my daughter. I'd like to give her something a bit different every year. And the older one asked me for a Body Shop advent calendar earlier on in the year, which was very expensive, not really advent calendar price. It was about £45, but every day it's got some sort of beauty item in it: bubble bath, shower gel, moisturizer. The younger one didn't want that, so I thought, well, she will deserve a nice special one, so I'm going to make her one. Of course I will post it here on YouTube and on my blog, so you'll see what I'm up to. Right, there we go. Okay, so there's our card blanks. What am I going to do now? One of the card blanks, the one with the snowflakes, I'm going to take the snowflake stamp, sorry, from the Snowman Season set, and I'm going to stamp in silver. Now, unfortunately, the silver stamp pads are no longer available. We had these Delicata stamp pads. What you could do is you could silver emboss. I think it would look really nice silver embossed around here. I'm just going to do what I did on my other one. You could get a silver stamp pad from somewhere else. Stampin' Up isn't the only supplier in the world of paper crafting things. So you might be able to get a silver stamp pad, or you could stamp in a different colour. It doesn't have to be silver. I quite like silver and white, but you could stamp in a different colour. But like I say, if I had a bit more time and had thought about it, I might have embossed these, just done them in Versamark, put some embossing powder over, and then they would match the Merry Christmas. That's all I'm going to do. Here's my panel. It's going to go on there, so you just get a few little snowflakes there. The other one I'm going to leave blank though. Right, let me get my Merry Christmas stamp, because that's what we need to do next. And this is from the Perfectly Plaid, the Christmas tree set. The Merry Christmas there. Find a stamp block to put it on. And then I'm going to use my embossing buddy on this piece of card before I stamp it with Versamark. Just take it off there. There we go, to make sure that I've got no sticky fingerprints on there. And again, I'm going to do this by eye. If you're not quite so secure with your stamping, you could use a Stamparatus to make sure you get this absolutely straight. Just Just make sure you can see what I'm doing. Trying to get it fairly central here, so the same distance up as down and in the middle, and stamp. Yeah, I think that's okay. And then I'm going to come in with my silver embossing powder. There we go. And actually, even though I use the embossing putty, there is a few bits sticking to that there. So I've got a tiny paintbrush here that I keep for that purpose, that I just brush any stray bits off. And then just need my heat gun to come in and heat that. Again, very, very old, faithful tool. Had this for years as well. So although some of these things, if you're new to crafting, might seem like an expense, actually they last a long time. Right, I'm going to have to get my tweezers out because this is burning my fingers. I can find my tweezers. There we go. Gives that a lot of heat, this gun, so you need to keep your fingers well away from it. And the magic of embossing powder melting never fails to thrill. There we go. Right, and all we're going to do now is we're going to put a little bit of Tombow on a lid so that I can use a cocktail stick with it, because I want a very fine layer here. So I'll get my Tombow, put a little bit on here. Oh, is this one empty? I think that one might finally have died. Got another one here, never fear. Oh, that one's better. There we go, that one came out well. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 snowflake clusters, and we're going to stick them, going to arrange them on here. Obviously they will overlap, but we will be trimming that off in a minute. So just take a cocktail stick and dip it in the glue, and this means you don't get too much glue, and you can just catch all the edges. This is by far the quickest way that I've found of doing it, so if you've got a quicker way you could let me know, but this just means that you get every bit that you want stuck down and you don't get glue everywhere. I've got a little bit of one little bit that hasn't come out, which I'm going to try and get out. There we go. And so on. There we go. Don't know if you can hear, I've still got a bit of a cough and a cold. It's nearly 3 weeks now since I've had this. It's getting a bit tedious. There we go. I would like it to go away now, really. Thank you. I've had enough of this cough and cold. Coughing dreadfully at night, keeping my husband awake. He's not impressed. There we go. And then we're going to do the same with the other cluster on the other end. And I love this card. I love this Clean and Simple card. I don't need any more on it, but when I looked at it, I just thought that for some of my followers, maybe it was just a bit too clean and simple. I'd love you in the comments to let me know what you think. Do you prefer the one that's really clean and simple, or do you prefer the stepped up one with the silver snowflakes? Like I say, the silver stamp pad, it was available, but they had problems with customs, and they now haven't got time to sort out the problems with customs and get it in stock before the catalogue time is finished. And obviously because of that, it wasn't an item that they were thinking of carrying over into the new catalogue period. So unfortunately that has gone. So you will have to source, if you wanted to do this, a silver stamp pad elsewhere. Right, there we go. Now all we've got to do is trim these off. So along the line of the stretch square you can just trim, and along here. And all we need to do, I'll stick it on this one for now, but I will make another one without the snowflakes on later on. So that's another 4 Christmas cards in my stash, which is good. Which one was I using? This one. So just a little bit of glue on this panel, and then we're done. Oh, sticking to the thing. Don't know why. When I'm crafting alone, I manage to stay really sticky free. When I'm crafting on camera, I always end up with really sticky fingers. I've got no idea why it happens like that. There we go. And that's just going to go in the middle of our card there. Right, so I hope you like... Let's come a bit off, so I'm going to push that down. There we go. I hope you like that card. Like I say, I love this one. It's very simple, and I think my sister will be getting that because I know she will love it. Not quite so keen on this one, but I think some people will be. So that's why I made it. So, hope you like my little project today. If you'd like to buy anything, if you'd like to buy the Christmas layers die and have a go at this, then just pop over to my my blog and you can click the shop now button and purchase from there, or there'll be a list of all the items at the bottom of the blog post and with links through straight to my shop. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be back soon. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.